Right, so what I've got here today is an iPhone 7 Plus, the red version of that. The screen, as you can see, is absolutely destroyed with all the lines and everything coming over the side here. So it's in for an LCD replacement. Will be replaced with an original LCD. So just get that now. There we go. So there we go. This is the part we're going to be fitting onto this 7 Plus. We just take out these two bottom screws here. Let's move that out of the way. Right, so we want to get this open, but we do want to be careful because along this side here is where our flex ribbons are, and obviously up the top here we've got the main flex for the actual camera flex that connects in about here. So just carefully lift this up. See, we haven't been able to turn the phone off before we start, but we disconnect the battery anyway, so that's a very important step with these, because one thing that you do get if you don't undo the battery when you start repairing these, what I've heard and what I've been able to sort of diagnose myself is the fact that when you do that, you take, like, I'm not sure which bit exactly it is, but the battery is not the first thing that you take off the phone, then you're likely to be left with no earpiece. Had a few come in with no earpiece, and that's been a result of someone else trying to fix them other than a shop with a proper technician who know what they're doing. Um, that's what you get for DIY repairs. Oh, right, so you can't see that, can you? Right, so we're almost separated on here now, like this. So once we've got it up, you can see we've got that flex cable just in the side there. We get it and we move it down. Just try and use to separate the adhesive. Has the same sort of adhesive as what the iPhone 6S's have. So if we open that up like a book, just pull this tape away because, it's just in the way there. Right, let me just get my other screwdriver and I'll be right back. Right, so the screwdriver you need for this, if I just get that back open again, the screwdriver you need for most of this repair, including this home button and the sides, and to even get these shields off, is this one. It is a Y 0.8 mil tri-point screwdriver. Just remove those now. There we go. Right, so that shield is off now. So this middle connector here is our battery. That's the first one we want to unplug. There we go. And that just stop any damage. Obviously, it's something that you should all be doing really with everything that you do. Disconnect the screen and touch screen. So that's off. So now all we're left with is our top flex. So we just undo those three. Yeah. Right. That's that shield off there. So now I just want to carefully take off this connector here for the earpiece, front camera, all of that. Just get that under there. There we go. So our screen is now separated from our frame. Just clean some of this glue. Right. There we go. That's that bit off there. So that's pretty much all of it. Obviously you can't get it completely perfect, but corner's a little bit dented there, but that shouldn't cause us any problems. There we go. Right, so now that's done. We've got that removed. I don't actually have any of the other tape to actually put back on this one, but we will be fine without it on this time. So now we move on to our actual screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with removing the, what should we start with? The home flex, the earpiece at the top. So don't have a screw mat for these yet. If anyone can recommend to me a good screw mat to get for these, I have been making my own and just using those, or just like now not bothering with a screw mat. If anyone know where there's a decent one to actually get, then let me know and I'll have to have a look at that. So that's our shield off. Same again, put the shield behind the screws. You can't actually see that. Just, there we are. So you've got the shield and then a formation of screws just in front of it. There we go. Right, earpiece is out. Be careful because it is magnetic. It will, screws will magnetize to that. And now we're on our lovely flex at the top. So for this I'm going to use the tweezers and just carefully peel everything. Let's try. These have a habit of breaking off. To be very careful with them. It's almost as if they're designed to fail. This one is alright, so as you can see there, that little plastic bit, I don't know if you can see it actually, there's that little plastic proximity sensor bit often is glued into the actual bottom of the screen, so when you pull it up it tends to just peel off the actual plastic flex cable, and then that's when we have problems. I'm gonna just heat up this little bit now, just a low heat, low air speed. Yeah, it's warm. That'll just help when peeling these adhesives off. That'll just help, and that'll just make that a little bit easier. I'm going to try and get underneath the sticky tape. There we go. Oh, we ain't got underneath the sticky tape, but we'll come to that in a second. Oh, police car going past. Right. So that's the contacts lifted for the earpiece, the actual speaker module that goes on there. Just trying to get this bit unstuck from the mesh. There we go. Right, one thing I do want to point out is these gold contacts. You can see, I have to hold that up. Gold contacts, you can see it's not autofocus. Yeah. Anyway, those bits there, the gold contacts. It's important that this little black piece of tape that you see here gets transferred over, because that does stop some problems, and this has been known to be the cause of some of the earpiece problems. But in the cases that I've dealt with, as hasn't been the problem. It has been down to the battery not being removed, like disconnected first. So as you can see, I've put that back on there. It's all completely covered, and that's ready to go. So I put that on there. So next we're going to move on to the home button. So there's 4 screws. So just move those out. Right. So that's the 4 screws removed. Don't know if you can see them. And then I'll just lay that in front so I know which order they are. So we've got, obviously that one is that, oh, that's magnet. That one goes to there, that one there, that one there, that one at the end. Now we've got our home button. These are very, very delicate and not the nicest things to work with, but how I generally do it is, because this is quite loose, I use my tweezer to hold it down, and then I then get another tool to just lift, and that's it. That's that bit removed. Just lift up the flex, the actual bit that comes on the screen itself. And then same again, we're going to just use a little bit of heat underneath. You can't really see. Just heat in the back of this. There we go. That's got, yeah, that's warm. So it should make peeling this button off just that little bit easier. It's very delicate, and I don't like taking chances with these. There we go. So that's peeled up. And with these, whereas before on the old iPhones you used to push it up through the middle and take it out, these you actually push through the front. As you can see, we just carefully feed that through the front, and that is our home button removed. Now all we're left with on this is our 6, in this case 5, as there seems to be a screw. Here's a screw. That one's already out, unscrewed itself. We'll just take these out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's not 6, it's 5. The 6th one is down here, which is a normal crosshead. So if I put the crosshead over there, right, so I know where everything is. We've got our side screws, we've got our plate screws for the LCD, we've got the screws for our shield, we've got a home button, we've got our top flex, we've got our speaker, and we've got the home button screws as well as the 2 pentalobe ones at the bottom. So we just remove this. This LCD is absolutely dead anyway, so a tear in any kind of cable would not be a problem right now because we have nothing to save, nothing to lose. So that is our screen, completely disassembled, and there's nothing else we need from this now, although I may keep this backlight. I do have a screen with a bad backlight where the cable, this one here, has been torn on a one that I'm refurbishing. So I'm probably going to see what this cable is. I believe it's 3D touch, and then I'll try and use that. So that's another video I'll do, showing how I can use parts off this completely dead screen on another screen, and, you know, making use of what I can. Right, we're back. So these always come with a lot of stickers with overstrong tape. Don't like them very much, to be fair. Let's try and carefully peel this one. Right. Right. That's that. Now we have these. So the same as before. These just thread through. Oh, I think someone's getting pulled over by a police motorbike. Yes. How are we going to do that? So have it forward, and then to get this nice and flat is just lay it down and then slide it back very slowly, and then our cable will be nice and flat. So that little crosshead screw that I then took out, that's going to be our first one to go back in, if I can keep hold of it. There we go. And then we're going to just go with the frame, just to give that some support and hold that in place. So we'll start down the bottom here with our little tri-screws. The screwdriver is too long. There we go. Right, so that one's in there. Now the rest is going to be pretty simple. There we go. That's that. Let's get the rest of those in. So we've just got 2 more screws to do on this side here. It's a lot quicker building the new screen up than it is actually taking it apart, because I think that's just because when you're taking it apart you've got to be careful, or more careful than what you do when building up, when removing parts. When you're putting it back together, it is just a matter of sticking everything down. So I think that's the better bit, but we've still got this bit we managed to save. So if I can remember how that went on, I believe that goes over there. Oh, and just slide that on there. Look at that. Never been. It's lovely, that is. Right. That's all good. I think that's a bit. So next, what we'll do, we'll fit our home button. To peel our tape back. We've got that on the front there. Now we'll just stick this in place. Yeah, so that is our home button fitted back in. I'll try and turn it like that so you can see a little bit better. Now back to our long orange one. So that's our first screw, so that's holding down our connector that holds the home button in. This one is just to the side of the home button. This one's screwed directly into the button. I'd presume holding just give it more security and stability. The big words for me today. Right, so that's in there now. As you can see, the button is in. It's in there. It's got a bit dusty underneath now, but the button is in. That's screwed. We have our flex, the back shield in place. Now all there's left to do is this top bit. So we have this that we need to just remove. We've got all our little camera ring and all our little proximity holders as well, which is nice to see. So how we do this, we start by putting in the earpiece bit. So there's 2 little holes that goes through the holes on the flex. That bit with the microphone just folds down, and then this folds back on itself, so it's a bit fiddly to do. I put that, get that in. There we are, that one's in. So then the second one does just literally press in on top. So we want to fit our earpiece. As long as I get this the right way around, I always do it the wrong way. There we go, that's in. Move that over, camera goes into its camera support ring, and then shield just goes on top. What screws are they? Ah, they are those. So this is our edge screw. This screw goes into the bottom right of the earpiece. So that screws in. Top right, going in just here. And then this one far left. So that now is our screen all completely built, ready to go on the phone, and this is the repair almost complete. So bring back our actual phone now. Seem a bit bent, so over that, and this is the actual camera thing. So how I always start by doing these is I start with attaching, just lay over the phone there like that, and start with the earpiece flex. So that's connected on. We'll just get our shield and our funny long screwdriver. Right. So that's our top flex secured, and then what we can do is now what we have to do is just connect in our LCD. I think it's the LCD. I'm not actually sure which one is which. No, that's the LCD, so that must be the touch. I don't know, I can't remember. I can't remember right now which one is which. Anyway, there's a connector and that needs plugging in. So that's in. So our last thing that we're going to connect is our battery. So make sure that's in nice and firm. Shield comes in over the top here. So a long screw that we have, because you'll notice there's three all the same size, and then one much longer screw that just goes in the back here. So screw that down a bit, align up the other holes, just like that. So now we've got another screw, and we can tighten this one up a little bit more if needed. No, that's fine. That's one of these. So as I said, I don't have any of the tape to actually put in today, so this one is going to have to be without. But with my experience of the water damage, it doesn't. I've not known it to actually have any benefit at all. And what I do is clean that charge port out as well. All that fluff. I don't know if you can see in there now, but that's no, don't focus. Ah, bummer. We've finished this up with just the bottom 2 screws. Turn that on. How will that show up in the light? But yeah, that is iPhone 7 Plus LCD replacement. If you have anything of your own that you want fixing, or you want to send something in for diagnosis, give us a shout and we'll be able to help you.